Rhyme. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe.
Here, he's got a little culito right there. What's up, you guys? Short Prime here doing another Hot Toys figure review on the Hot Toys Iron Man 3 Movie Masterpiece Series diecast MMS197-D02 Mark 42 1/6 scale collectible figure. If you're trying to get your Hot Toys Mark 42 diecast figure, you can get it at Big Bad Toy Store. Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. Very similar packaging as we got with the diecast War Machine and the Iron Patriot. So you get this translucent plastic over here, and then it has some of that white trim on it, and then underneath this it has the actual gold and everything. And I like how we get some silver right there where it says diecast, and on the side it says Mark 42. On the back you get the credits of the people involved in creating the figure, and then on the side it says Mark 42. The picture continues, and on the top Mark 42, and then you lift this up right over here, and then you get this strong foam casing, which looks pretty awesome, man. Anyway, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Mark 42 Iron Man out of the packaging, and what an awesome piece, man. Now, he is quite heavy. He does have some heft to him, about as heavy as the other diecast Hot Toys figures, but man, you know, I really wasn't a big fan of the suit when I first saw it. But, you know, looking at this figure, this is actually the most I've actually really liked the Mark 42 Iron Man armor. I just think it looks really badass. This beigeish gold color really looks cool. I guess it being made out of actual die-cast just makes it look a little bit better. And this thing comes with a ton of accessories, tons of interchangeable parts. First off, he does have this flight stand, as you can clearly see over here. It does have its own unique plaque, though. You can see Iron Man 3 Mark 42 right over there. You have some nice sculpted detail over here. That looks really nice. Same thing as we'd gotten before. If you come around here on the back, you'll see that you can unscrew this and put 3 AAA batteries in there that are not included. Hit the on switch and it lights up. You know, it's not a very bright light, but it looks pretty good. Then it has this metal rod right over here, and it has this dynamic pose stand clip. Now, the instructions clearly state that you're not supposed to put this diecast figure on any other stand but the stand that the figure comes with. And then speaking of instructions, you get plenty. It's this little booklet right here, all written in red. I guess I had found other issues later on, so just make sure you read through all this stuff really before you start playing with the figure. You get all these battle damaged parts. This looks like a complete mess. We get the regular Mark 42 head. We get a battle damaged Mark 42 head with the Tony Stark underneath it. I'll show that in detail later on. We get clean shoulder pads. We get battle damaged shoulder pads. Only on the right side we get a battle damaged bicep and a clean bicep. Only on the right side we get the missile launcher along with the battle damaged forearm and the regular forearm, battle damaged forearm on the left side. And then right over here we get the chest plate that's battle damaged, regular chest plate. And then we get these fist guards, 2 regular ones and then 2 repulsor palm ones, 1 battle damaged for each. Same thing on this side over here. We get super articulated hands on each of these. These bend at the knuckles, at the middle of the thumb, and then you get 2 points of articulation in each of these fingers over here. We get a repulsor blast hand and then a fisted hand for each side. And just to see what the figure looks like without all this stuff, oh, Iron Man, what happened to you? The figure also includes this tiny little screwdriver along with 12 little batteries for the 4 LED lights that are on the figure. I think this is a great head sculpt. This Iron Man Mark 42 head sculpt looks fantastic. I like how it looks like he's kind of angry, you know, kind of got a mean look on that Iron Man face, and it's not too long or anything like I've seen on some other Hot Toys Iron Man figurehead sculpts. So I really like how the red looks too. I think this is all very, very clean, man. Just getting a full 360 of the regular version of the Mark 42 head sculpt on here. And it does have a light up function, which is extremely irritating. Now his repulsors and his arc reactor along with the head sculpt, they light up, and those aren't so bad. It's just this one over here. So in order to do that, what you have to do is you take off his faceplate over here, and you don't want to get things scuffed up or anything, but yeah, so you can see there's light. And then what you're supposed to do is kind of split apart the sides over here of the top of the head just a little bit. It's very unsettling, but there it goes, taking that off, and then there's a little switch right there, and then I have to put all this back together again in order to get it displayed properly. For a light effect that isn't the greatest, you know, you can see the eyes lit up really over there. It's not extremely bright or anything, and you can tell that the light source is just coming from the center of the face, because it's kind of dim over there on the side and dim on that side over there, so that's a little disappointing. And then I put the battle damage / Tony Stark head on here. You just pop this off, so you can see you get this peg right over here, and then this just goes right on, and this is kind of a snug, firm fit. It's not the easiest thing you can wear. Alright, there you go. Yeah, you don't want to be too rough with the Hot Toys, but ooh, man, that looks tight. Damn, I love that battle damaged look. That looks so sick. That is awesome. Wow, I love all that black paint. You got all that scuff and painted on there. Even on the red section too, it's not just light reflecting off of it. Coming around here on the side, you can see all these little scratches and all that. I think that looks really, really impressive. I'm digging this a lot. The back of the head doesn't have much going on. Then you could remove this and boom, you get Robert Downey Jr. And then you could straighten that up. This is held together with magnets, so you just place it right there on the top of the head. Then you can see Tony's face, which is not a bad Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. I'm going to remove this just so you can see his face a little better. Oh, they even have some paint right there, some scuffage going on. And he's got some blood right over there. I really like the blood on the cheek. I think that looks very realistic. I like how his mustache is all sculpted in there. It's not just painted. The cut on the mouth looks pretty good too. His eyes look very realistic. He's kind of looking up and to the left just a little bit. I like that. It's not too bad. I also really like the dirt that you can see on his cheek right over there. That is cool. This is very, very dope. Digging this head sculpt. And you can get the battle damaged look with light up eyes by taking the faceplate off the battle damaged one and putting it on the regular one over here so it lights up. And I just turned the arc reactor over here on just so you can see how that looks. Makes it look a little bit more complete. A lot of nice work over here on the chest section of the figure. The arc reactor especially looking very detailed. I really like that. The gold does look slightly different in color right here than compared to right over here. This is another removable piece to show how the arc reactor lights up. You just pull this switch right over there and wow. That looks really cool. And as I dim the lighting over here, you can still see that nice sculpted detail within the arc reactor. So we can remove this chest piece right over here and just pick this off. It's not too bad. There that goes. You just line it all up and there it goes. Not too bad. And that looks dope. Man, I love the battle damaged look that they did on this figure. I just think it looks really cool. I'm really impressed with that. That is just too cool. I really like how this black fades around here. And there's a lot of intricate detail underneath this too that I didn't really give a fair shot at. I'm really impressed with the armpit section of this figure. I think this is really cool. You can see all these parts and everything. Now these do pop out over here. So as I'm impressed with all of this inner working, yeah, that's a gripe of mine, is that both of the arms pop out quite easily at the shoulder. The right arm was actually already unattached to the figure when I had first opened it, so that's a bit of a bummer. And we get this interchangeable part right over here, so we can make it battle damage. Now this part is metal, and this is a die cast piece right here. The interchangeable piece is not a die cast section, so you just plug that in right there. That looks pretty sharp. I really like that a lot. Then this bicep section over here is interchangeable as well. It is not interchangeable on the left side of the figure though. So we just pop this in right here. Really love the detail on this piece right over here. That looks great. And as I mentioned, we get two interchangeable right forearms over here. So you just split this in half, and it has this huge magnet piece over here, which is really nice. Then the interchangeable parts also have magnets in them too. So we can grab this guy and then just split it apart, and it actually just closes together on its own. That's really, really neat. And look at all that sculpted detail in there. That looks magnificent. I'm really, really stoked about that. Wow, all the paint. Just this looks great, man. And then you also have the missile launcher one. That looks really impressive. I'm really stoked about that. That looks really cool too. I dig that. And this does have a different bottom piece as opposed to the other one. And the last battle damage section on the right side is just this little cover for his fist. I love the wear and everything on these things. Really, really cool. So I'm going to switch out the battle damage section on the left side too. Each of the biceps have the little light switch right over here, so you can turn on the LEDs for his fist, which you can't really see with the fisted hands. And then here's the battle damage on the left side of the figure, looking really awesome on that shoulder. And then this forearm is very, very impressive, like that. And then that fist guard looks cool too. Now the rest of the figure doesn't have any battle damage or anything like that, but it still looks very awesome. Nice clean paintwork. The sculpt looks great. I really dig this a lot. A very impressive piece overall. Here's a look at the side of the boots, and this has little panels and everything so you can articulate it as you need to. Here's looking at the side, and here's looking at the back of the figure. God, I love that red paint over there. There's Iron Man butt. And this figure actually has air brakes, so you could lift this up and lift that up, and that's pretty awesome. I'm a bit disappointed that the head does not articulate looking upward more than that. I wish it could look up more, and the neck joint doesn't really move too much. It can look down quite a bit though. He does get a little bit of neck pivot, and it does rotate side to side fairly well. He has this really cool function right here where his shoulders just pop right out. I think that's really cool, so you can see them go in and out over there. And he does have this armpit joint, which is very cool. His shoulders move outward. This part is on a flap, so it's spring loaded, so you can move the shoulders all the way out. You can rotate them forward. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend in that far. His wrist moves side to side and all the way around. They're on ball joints. He has a diaphragm joint over here. That part doesn't separate itself, but it does crunch forward a little bit. It does move back quite a bit. You get another point of articulation right here. It's like the mid-ab joint, and that doesn't really go back that much. It does crunch forward a bit, and then you do have a waist joint over here, and you kind of, you know, like the other die-cast figures, you're supposed to separate them. Actually, it's already quite separated. So yeah, it crunches forward right there, and then it actually goes back a little bit too. And then the side-to-side movement is only at this upper torso or diaphragm section right there. So that's as far left and right as I could turn. He does have these flaps that move up and they get out of the way, which is cool. And he can kick forward and his hips can move outward. He does have the same function as the War Machine and the Iron Patriot. Detaches right over here by hitting this button. Getting this to lock back into place and stay is very tricky. Very early on, I got some wear right there on the Iron Man butt, which is a bit frustrating, but not a big deal because it is just the Iron Man button. I don't really care that much, and this just keeps popping off on me, which is a little irritating, but not a big deal. He has an upper thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees that bend in very far. I think that's great. His ankles move down. You can see this part detaches. This lifts up as well, and then this shifts up and down right over here too. You can get the foot to lift up like that. Also, you want to make sure that you pull the leg or the foot downward before you start articulating it. You get a beautiful ankle pivot over here, and we do get some toe articulation over here too, which is really great. Now this is a 1/12 scale figure, but Iron Man still stands closer to 13 inches tall. And here's our diecast Mark 42 compared to the diecast Iron Patriot and the Hot Toys Power Pose Red Snapper figures. You can see Mark 42 is the shortest one out of the three, and I gotta say, so far, just so far, between these two, I think this is the cooler figure. Here he is next to the Hot Toys Trevor figure. And here's the Mark 42 compared to the Mark 33 Silver Centurion armor, which stands a little bit taller than the Mark 42. Stop in the name. Okay, well anyway, here he is compared to the Hot Toys Iron Man or Tony Stark, the mechanic figure. And then here he is next to the Power Pose Mark 42. And I try to get them all posed the same as the Power Pose figure because this guy isn't very articulated at all. And you can see this diecast figure is a bit larger than this one. His knee is even bent more than this guy, and it's still a much larger figure. And here's the Mark 42 compared to the Marvel Select Battle Damage Mark 42, the Marvel Legends 42, and then the Marvel Universe 3¾ inch scale Mark 42. It's not quite a party if it's just 4 figures, alright? Settle down. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So I'd like to think this is a pretty awesome figure. It really depends on how much you get irritated by parts popping off on you, especially with these shoulder joints. Those things just really pop out easily. And then this whole thing with getting the head to light up. Those are my two biggest complaints. There's some minor scuffage throughout the figure, but not a big deal. Overall, it is very, very awesome. And I love the interchangeable battle damage parts. Probably going to have them displayed with all the battle damage stuff on here since I already have the Power Pose. Anyway, I hope you guys liked my video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the figure and the review. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out marvelousnews.com for the latest in action figure news and a photo gallery of images from this video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Gave it a spark. Welcome to articulated comic book art.
That's crispy.
Machine and the Iron Patriot where it detaches. Whoop. Damn it.